Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a video on charting a range. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a professional. Do your own research, and trading is risky. Today I just wanted to briefly talk about how to chart a range. I will not be talking too much about what these ranges mean, whether they're accumulation or market tops. However, I will just be showing you guys how to chart a range. So what is a range? A range is when you see price consolidating and hitting both sides of the range. The range is established generally after a big impulse move up or a big impulse move down. And a range is established where you see price hitting the highs and hitting the lows multiple times. This can be a low liquidity state where price is sucking liquidity from both sides of the range. So generally, as I said, it depends on the context of market structure. Here's Bitcoin USD at the end of 2018 when the 6K floor fell out. Obviously, price had a massive move down from 6K to 3K, and this is when the range was established. So generally speaking, how do you chart the range? You want to look for, first, price to find the bottom, and this wasn't the absolute bottom, but this was the first move up, or this is where this is the temporary bottom where price found some support and then moved up. And then price reached further down. And this was the range that you worked with for a 3-month span. Charting the range can be tricky, but generally you want to look for the swing lows and then the swing highs. And when you do chart ranges, expect both swing lows and swing highs to be tested multiple times. And of course, as with anything charting, these charting ranges are sometimes subjective. Sometimes you will find some levels will be respected and some will not. But it's important to understand the context that you are charting the range. So for instance, because this came after a big move down, it's more likely than not that this big range is probably going to be accumulation. And I do have a video on accumulation, so you can check that out. I'm not going to talk about that here now. So how do you chart the range? You take the swing high, and then you can take the swing low preceding, and this is the trading range that you see. As I said before, you'll see in ranges, you'll see price tapping both sides of the range, up, down, and it will generally be either accumulation or distribution depending on the context of the chart. So how do you chart it? As I said, take the swing high, take the swing low. A nice way of doing it is just taking a fib tool and just doing the 1.5 of the equilibrium of the chart and the 0 and taking everything else out, and you'll generally get a nice chart here. And how do you trade the range? You are basically waiting to see multiple taps of resistance and then a breakthrough, and you can see, and this is in a bullish context, you can see higher lows being established, and there is sell side liquidity all in this area right here, and that is getting eaten up. It was, as I said before, it depends on the context of the chart, but generally speaking, this is going to be accumulation after a big move down. And when you see price making higher lows, you can buy the breakout. So after you see price breaking out here, you can try to buy any retest. Of course, the retest of 4,000 never came. Price just bull flagged and kept going higher. Let's look briefly at a range formed at a short-term. This isn't necessarily distribution, of course. Distribution is more the context of a market top, where you see right here. And you'll see more at market tops. You'll see wild wicks in both directions, and then you'll see lower highs being formed. And that's kind of what you saw at the end of middle of 2019. Trading ranges can generally be they're generally not market tops. Of course, you can call this a range, but a range is more usually tighter price action. And you can see that right here. You can see price was established in this range here. So as I said, take the swing high, take the swing low. Let's look at one other example here with theta. Here was a trading range, and as I said before, ranges can be established on all time frames. Generally speaking, the longer the price ranging, it will generally have a stronger expansion move following the breakout in either direction. So right here we saw theta. This was a bullish accumulation after price made a big move. So again, trading ranges are established after a big move in either direction. We just saw Bitcoin from the 6K to 3K move. Here, this is theta in a bullish market structure, where after theta had a very strong move over a several month period, and then it established a trading range. So this right here was the trading range that was established. Again, there are multiple ways to trade this. You can either wait for the breakout and then buy. You could wait for the breakdown. So if you did think this was the market top, if this was a market top, you could wait for it to break out of the range, come back up, retest the range low, and then head lower. There are also many intraday scalping strategies where you can buy the top of the, or I'm sorry, sell the top of the range, short the top of the range, and then buy at the bottom of the range. And when you do the range, the EQ is also a very useful level. Usually this will act as an SR level. And as I said before, just like anything regular with regular SR, ranges can be established on high time frame charts. Let me take a look at VETBTC. This was a common one. Actually, let me look here. Okay, VETBTC, this was a situation where this was not accumulation. This was just a bearish consolidation. Well, I shouldn't say bearish. This was just a bearish retest here. But, you know, this, you could argue this was accumulation right here. You saw lots of volume come in, and you saw price hitting both sides of the range multiple times. Price eventually did make a big move up, 30%. Not huge relative to regular altcoin moves. And then it further went down. But as I said, this is not a discussion on bearish or bullish market structure. This is really just a discussion on trading ranges. And again, you could see this happening again with VET. This right here was accumulation. And again, it's very difficult to understand the context, but check out my video on accumulation versus bearish consolidation, and you'll see a little more detail in that video. But this was accumulation here, and then followed by a big run. And you'll see these accumulation patterns happen across all time frames, as I said. Here was another weekly consolidation for VeChain, and another big move up. A very interesting range that you can also look for is ETHBTC. And this is another range that possibly has been seen since 2018, where you see multiple taps of the high and multiple taps of the low, or close to the low. So when you are charting the ranges, as I said, take the Fibonacci tool, just use the 0, 0.5, and 1. That is one way to chart the range. And the other way I like to chart ranges is using a parallel channel. Hold down the shift key to keep your line straight. And what you can do from here is go to settings and click the middle. That is another way of doing a range. Although this way it won't show you the exact values, which is a little not as useful in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on charting ranges, and good luck.